Felt like old times in the building today. The atmosphere was incredible. You know, to walk in there and see it full like that and a whiteout and the enthusiasm of the crowd. I mean, that people want to know why you start well. Sometimes that energy in the building gives the team energy. And I want to thank the fans for coming out. And I told the players before the game, you know, the fans know more about this rivalry than you do, you know, because they've been here to sit through it, a lot of our longtime dedicated fans. And so I said, you have to know this is a rivalry. I'm telling you it is. It's been one of the great ones in the Mountain West when we played them. And sometimes it's a rivalry when they beat you 9 times in a row. Well, now we've got 3 in a row. And that's the kind of talk that keeps a rivalry going. So we will look forward to returning to Provo next year and continuing a great basketball game for the fans of both fan bases.
Dutch, did you ever think you'd be sitting here talking about a San Diego State win against BYU where you just absolutely outscored them on offense?
If you were to tell me our game plan was to outscore BYU, I'd say that's not a very good game plan. But in the end, you know, obviously I shouldn't say outscore them. Outscore them is the game plan, but not in the 80s and 90s, obviously. So our defense was good tonight, and that's hard to say when a team shoots 50-some%. But when you force 18 turnovers and you hold a player that is averaging 23 points and 10 rebounds below his average, and all the things you work on, you see come to life on the practice floor, onto the game floor then, and it's just, it feels good because the kids know when they work that hard and all the stuff they work on pays off in a win, then that creates more buy-in, you know, and so they want to see results. We all want to see results, and so sometimes you don't get the results, but you keep working hard, and I said that the 10 days off between games were going to be really important to us, and I think we took a good advantage of those 10 days and are playing pretty good basketball today.
To shoot the way you did, Dutch, and also force 18 turnovers, repel some runs by them in the second half when it looked like BYU might get some traction but never could because you guys had an answer. How far do you go back to find that complete a game out of this team or program? Is there something that rings a bell?
Well, I mean, obviously nothing this year. The fight coming back from Xavier 19 down was a heck of a effort. I mean, that just told me at the time we got a team with fight in them, that they're not going to give up. You know, and you look back a year ago, I mean, the 2 wins against Nevada the last 10 days of the season. I mean, how incredible was that? You know, that was great effort and energy from the team. And so, you know, we've seen it from these kids. But now it's the young kids trying to figure it out. You know, when you got veteran guards like Jeremy and Devin, they look like veterans out there. They never look rattled. They keep everything under control and in front of them. And then the sophomores are getting better. You know, Jordan Shackle, Matt Mitchell, Jalen McDaniels are getting better, but they're only sophomores still. As much as they played a lot of minutes, they're still young players. And then a guy like Nathan Mensah and Adam Seiko today, and then Nolan Narain when he was needed. You know, they all stepped up and they played well. So we're slowly putting a team together. And no matter what plan you think you have as a coach, sometimes it just takes whatever it takes. You know, it might take all year to get to where you want to be. Some teams come out of the gates playing outstanding basketball. So every team is different, every journey's different, and right now I think we made a step forward, and we'll step on to the next game against Brown. You know, as coach, I'm going to enjoy Christmas, but Brown's 8-4. So you say, well, you got an Ivy League team. Well, I'm saying I got an 8-4 Ivy League team I'm playing when I come back from Christmas. So I'll enjoy this one tonight and then enjoy my family for Christmas and then start getting ready for Brown.
Talk us through the defense game plan on Childs. I mean, first from the standpoint of how do you approach him, where you just try to take him away at the risk of everyone else burning you, or do you?
Yeah, we post-doubled him, and, you know, we watched Houston do it. We've always post-doubled, where we sent our opposite big man over to double. And Houston's an elite defensive team. They're undefeated and ranked, and we like to think we play a lot the way they do. We're not near as good as them right now, but we're trying to – that's how we play. So we post-doubled, and the only way you don't post-double is if you're giving up threes out of the double, where you're trading tough twos for open threes. But we scrambled out. I think they might have got, you know, maybe 1 or 2 really good looks out of the double. So I thought it bothered Yoli, and he's a wonderful player, and he's not supposed to score out of a double. No, if you're doubled, you're supposed to move the ball. That's like anything on a ball screen. For a guard, if he's doubled, if a big gets doubled in the post, you're supposed to move the ball. So he played the right way, but it's going to definitely limit his scoring. You have to say, are we giving something up at the other end by doing that? And we just felt the reward outweighed the negative of doubling him.
You guys haven't played for 4 years, and as you said, your players don't really know this rivalry other than Devin's played them before he got here. Why does BYU amp things up in the way they do in a game like it? It felt different in the arena.
Yeah, I mean, I said to Coach Rose when he came in, I said, it feels like we haven't missed a year. To see him in the arena, full like it was, you know, shaking hands before the game, I said, it feels like we haven't missed a year. That's how the atmosphere felt. And he felt the same way. And so when we go to Provo next year, even though we haven't played there in 4 or 5 years, trust me, when we go there, their fan base will know. And it'll be equal to what it was today, if not more, when we go to Provo next year.
Coach, how did the team, or what did you tell the team before and in timeouts to keep the momentum throughout the game?
You know, we're just continue to share the ball on offense, move the ball, share the ball, you know, and then we mostly talk defense, get stops, you know. We talked a lot about concentrating throughout a game. You know, don't lose your concentration. They're going to make some plays. Hawes is going to make some shots. Don't drop your head. Don't raise your hands. Just move on to the next play. And that's a sign of maturity. And I thought even when they went on a little bit of a run, I thought the kids maintained their composure. You know, Nate Mensah hit some really hard shots in that stretch. You know, 15-foot turnaround jump shots. I mean, those weren't like untimely baskets. They were at a critical time of the game, and he made 3 shots in a row that were incredible. So our kids stepped up and made some really big plays.
There was that
Nathan's role on the team right now. He was kind of the only reserve that played very many meaningful minutes.
Today?
Tonight.
Yeah, Nolan played a lot in the first half, but Nathan played so well. Nathan got in foul trouble the first half, and so once one of them's playing well, you know, I'm going to roll with that one longer. So I rolled with Nathan longer, but Nolan will have an opportunity to step right back in the next game and get those minutes himself. It's how you practice. You know, I told him I felt like we had a chance to win the game based on how we practiced the last 2 days. We were locked in. We guarded their stuff at pace. Our scout team ran their stuff, and we looked like we were ready for them, and it looked that way on the floor today.
But what's your policy on guys who get 2 fouls in the first half? Are you going to automatically sit them down for the rest of the half?
No, I think I put even Jalen in a game earlier this year when he had 2 in the first half. He got his 3rd. You know, but if with a 12, 14-point lead, you know, I just watch enough basketball and been around it long enough that that lead is insignificant. I mean, you want it, but this is a game of runs, you know, and you see guys lose 12, 14-point leads all the time. So I just felt it was going to be a close, competitive second half. You know, I think they cut it to 8, and we were able to kind of maintain our lead. But I just felt they had a run in them. I told the team before the second half started, you know, basketball is a game of runs. So I hope we go on run and put them out of it right away. But they may go on one. And it's how you respond to that run that's going to kind of determine how we're going to be this year. So I didn't want them panicked if BYU all of a sudden scored 6, 8 straight points because they're capable of it. And so I wanted Jalen available at the end of the game because I thought it might go to the very end.
You guys had that 6-point trip where Devin hit a couple threes, and I don't know if you were up here yet, but he said on the second one he didn't even see the rim and kind of said it was a heat check.
I think Devin would say that even if he saw the rim.
So
He's got a lot of moxie. That's how he plays. He wants the ball. I mean, I'm sure he wants more shots than he's getting, but, I mean, he gets 8 assists. Devin's so smart. You know, he can play the game any way it needs to be played. If he needs to score, he gets hot, he can score the ball. But he can also get his teammates involved. And it's such a fine line to walk as a scoring point guard as to when you try to take over a game, because sometimes it looks like the point guard's not sharing the ball. But then you look at his stats. He 8 assists again. I think he had 7 the game before. So he's playing magnificent basketball right now.
And the second part of Jalen is, have you been able to figure out, you know, his foul trouble? Because he's been in it pretty consistently this season, in it again today.
Yeah, I mean.
Just the lineup, or is there something else going on out there?
No, he's basically guarding the same position he guarded last year. You know, and when we start small like that, Matt's been the one that had to take Yoli to start, and then Jalen comes over with the post double. So, you know, he got a couple careless ones again today. I mean, the early layup where he fouled a guy on that was, you know, wasn't a lot of contact, but just enough to get it. You know, there were a couple here and there that I'm sure he thought were kind of on the edge, but they're fouls, you know. So he's got to learn to keep his hands off, show his hands, don't put his hands on people, and just do the little things that keep you out of foul trouble.
Do you feel like he presses when he gets in the second half, trying to make up for lost times? He had 1 point in the first half.
Yeah, I think everybody presses. He wants to, you know, make a contribution to win. He doesn't want to feel like he's just out there, and he wants to help contribute to victories. And so I think he goes hard to the glass, maybe gets it over the back or trying to pursue the ball and do the things that make him great, playing with a high motor. So hopefully we can keep him out of foul trouble more often.
Talk about being able to take advantage of the turnovers. I believe you guys had like 22 points off turnovers during your first half run. What's it like to not only force them, but then to...
Yeah, the turnovers were big to the game. I've always said, I tell the team this all the time, it's hard to win a half-court basketball game where you have to rely on your half-court offense to produce all your points. And so I said you have to get fast break baskets, or you have to get second chance points. You have to pound the offensive glass and get a putback. And even though sounds like it's half-court offense, it's after the shot goes up. Can you go get it and get a putback? And so when we can create turnovers and get a couple fast breaks to go with our half-court offense, then we score this many points. But if we have to just get slowed down in the half-court, like USD slowed us down, you know, we didn't get out on them a lot, then it's hard to grind it out in games like that sometimes.
Is this becoming the identity of this team? This is an offensive team that is, you know, a little bit behind in rebounding and defense. And, you know, 5 years ago it was the complete opposite.
Yeah. I mean, we're playing great offense right now. And the thing that we're doing best is sharing the ball. You know, it's like the reason we're shooting so good from three is because we're getting assisted threes. We're driving in and then we're stepping straight into the three. Or we're driving on the fast break and throwing to the corners and we're stepping into the shot. We're not like shooting off screens, we're running off a double and shooting, or we're not shooting off the dribble, we're stopping behind a ball screen. You know, every three we get has got to be assisted, I think. Not many guys are getting an unassisted three.
Coach, can you talk about George Shackle and how well he played today?
He had some big threes. Big threes. You know, and Jordan just plays so hard all the time. You know, you don't notice Jordan until you look at the film and see that he's always in the right place at the right time, and he covering for somebody else. And this is he was in foul trouble for 2 or 3 straight games. And so he's played the last couple games out of foul trouble where he's becoming a better defender, moving his feet, not grabbing and holding people on cuts. And so they're all learning. You know, it's all at a different pace. But like Matt said when I was walking up here, Devin, you know, our identity is going to be defense. We are going to be a good defensive team. They don't want to just say we're going to outscore people. They know they got to work to become better defensively. And that goes a long ways to the message we're delivering. We're telling them we're not near as good as we need to be defensively or rebounding. We have to get better. And so when they say it, then it makes me happy as a coach to know that they're buying in, that they believe that.
Anything else? Thank you, Coach.
Merry Christmas, everybody.